classes, as well as, making sure that, I had my volunteer work in there, my homework and all the labs and studying and going to classes and, trying to do other extracurriculars on top of that. At that point in time, I think heading into third year, I also did a little bit of TV work. So it was kind of like adding to the variety in my portfolio. But, at that time, I felt like, that was sort of like an opportunity that you didn't want to give up because it's not every day that you're going to get to do something for a TV station, right? So, um, all those things kind of layered together. And thank God by at that point in time, my life, or at least my health, had taken a better turn because I had already been a couple years into chiropractic care. And so I was actually really a lot more aware of how to take care of my health better so that I can actually have more energy to do all these different things. So that, in a nutshell, was how personally I was able to start learning how to set some goals. So I would say, in order for you to be able to kind of get to that point of kind of delineating what it is that is your goal for the year or goal for the next 5 years or the next 10 years, you need to really, first of all, identify what do you want, right? It's a very simple question, but once you identify what it is that you want, you're going to find that, naturally your drive and your passion will come from that knowing, right? So that when you wake up, every day, you kind of know what you're working towards. And you're not just kind of waking up and letting the day kind of take you, by the wayside, right? You actually know what it is that you're working for. And, as some of us are parents, it is really good to actually set the tone of the day with your kids as well. So this is actually a really good time if you practice yourself and you also start kind of engaging your kids and prompting them and allowing them to actually develop that mindset of actually knowing what it is that they want to accomplish in a day. So a lot of times, when I'm teaching, some of the younger people, as I've mentioned in my clinic, I prompt them by giving them three things. I just ask them to do three things. And if they have no idea, I usually, say, okay, well, these are two things that you could do. I want you to choose your own third thing. And that usually gets them started, you know. And I gotta say, like one of my recent, I guess, success stories is that I had a 13-year-old who did incredibly well. He's kind of like one of those kids that's really smart. I mean, I can see he's a really, really smart kid, but he certainly suffers from, I guess, this generation's temptation of video games and being on electronic devices all the time. And so whenever his mom brings him in for a an adjustment, because his posture is terrible and he's starting to develop some curvature in his spine. These are things that we're helping him kind of, support him and address, the tech neck and the rounded shoulders and, like some, back aches and stuff and neck pain. Um, at the same time, I try to also try to bring something positive to him, and it was amazing that when I gave him the three activities to do, he literally, I mean, for the third thing, I told him to choose himself to do. So the first thing that I had said to him, I said, okay, because your mom thinks your math needs a little bit of work and you have an activity book that you need to work on before, school starts, right? This was a few weeks ago. And therefore, how about this? Let's do 1 page a day for your math problems. And the second thing I want you to do is because he took a summer course and he was learning about tectonic plates and he developed some interest in that, I said, well, I want you to actually research and find me 3 facts about tectonic plates that you find interesting that you could share with me on our next appointment. And so because I see him once every 2 weeks now, I figured, 2 weeks would give him a little bit of time to complete, this daily activity that I've assigned for him. And then it kind of gives us an idea sort of how he's going to do. And the third thing, I asked him to choose himself, and guess what he chose? I'm like so proud of him. He, I guess, developed a pretty solid interest in science. And so he decided that he was going to get a head start on reading the Science 8 textbook. And I was so pleasantly surprised. I was like, wow, of all things that he could have chosen, he wanted to do that. So amazing, amazing, amazing. So, I mean, I just saw him a couple days ago, and he came back and said, well, I didn't do 15 pages, right? So, I mean, 2 weeks would have been 14 to 15 pages, but he did do 6 pages of math problems. And he read or he learned about plant biology. So I was really, really proud of him. I said, okay, so clearly tectonic plates did not really hit your interest point at the this past 2 weeks, but how about let's give it one more go? And so in 2 weeks' time, we'll get to see if, he does bring me some facts about tectonic plates. And if he doesn't, I said, it's all right. I told him we're going to then switch topics or switch categories altogether so that we can work on something else that actually sparks his interest. So this is something that we can absolutely learn ourselves, but also be able to apply and teach to the next generation, or to teach people around you who may not have had any skill sets in, sort of getting to know what their goals, what their interests, what their dreams could be. All right, Healthy Wisdomers, it has been a wonderful pleasure once again to share this episode with you. Please take a minute to subscribe, follow, and rate this episode so we can share this wisdom. And let's invite people to join us on this journey. This is the Healthy Wisdom series with Dr. Jen Chen. We'll see you guys next week.